Welcome back, everybody, to Turkey Talk, brought to you by the Wild Faith Podcast. My name is Evan Bungham, and tonight I'm flying solo, and I have a fun episode for you. And this is kind of in my realm, but this might be in your realm too. We are talking about filming your turkey hunts and how to do it successfully. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of stress, but man, when you can get it all come together, it is very, very rewarding. And I've been filming turkey hunts since I was probably I'm going to throw it out there, about 14. First turkey hunt I ever filmed was of my sister and my dad. And my sister missed a tom at, I believe, about 5 to 6 yards, which is an incredibly tough shot with the shotgun. And, you know, having a 12-year-old shoot a shotgun that close, nerves can get to you. But I'm filming on a little Sony Handycam. And I wish I could find that footage. I have not found it yet. I got to keep digging through our archives of just hundreds and hundreds of tapes. But it's in there somewhere. And I hope I can find it someday, because that was a hunt I will never forget. And it was a lot of fun. But that was kind of the start of my addiction of filming turkey hunts, which later transitioned into me filming everything. But filming turkey hunting is fun. And like I said, it is a extremely rewarding adventure if you can get out to do it. And you could do it a lot. You can overcomplicate it all you want. You could be running super, super high-end mirrorless cameras. You'd be running camcorders. You'd be running a GoPro. You could run a Tacticam. You could use your phone. You could use just about anything to film your hunts nowadays, which is so awesome. And there's so many different companies out there, from Third Arrow to Tacticam's got their own mounts for their own cameras. People are using GoPros. People are using their phones. There's so many different mounting systems that you could do, from mounting them to your bow, mounting them to your shotgun. You know, obviously you can get a tripod out there. You can do whatever you want to do. But I wanted to break it down just a little bit to like different levels of filming your hunts and what you really truly need. I mean, coming at it from a photographer, videographer standpoint, like I've done everything. I've done running multiple 2 different camera angles. We're running a third angle, like point of view type stuff. I mean, I've shared a couple of videos where I was running basically a full cinema kit, no blind, trying to kill him with a trad bow, which is wild. And, you know, I've come close a couple of times, and it's like, for me, when I can get that to pay off, that's like the ultimate success of a hunt for me, of where I can capture it without the blind, being in the elements. It's pretty incredible when it happens, but it's very slim and few, because turkeys have some of the best eyesight in the kingdom of all animals and critters. I like to think that they could see forever, it seems like. But, you know, starting from scratch, like if you wanted to just get into filming your hunts, everybody's got a phone, and the phones nowadays are incredible. I mean, I have the 17 Pro Max that's filming this podcast right now, and it is awesome. It shoots ProRes RAW HQ, which is not found in a lot of even today's mirrorless cameras, which is crazy. And the quality is actually really, really good. And I have multiple different mounts for my phone. I've got a bow mount. I've got a gun mount. I've got multiple different tripod attachments that I can put on a little tripod, put it in a big tripod, stick it to a tree, do whatever I want to do with it. And I would say for majority of my mobile running gun type stuff, I'm using my phone. I haven't bought a GoPro yet. I haven't bought like a DJI, their action camera yet, just because my cell phone is just as good. And I think it looks better in some certain instances. And it's easy because I always have my phone on me. It's one less piece of gear that I don't have to bring out in the woods with me. But you could film literally everything with your phone. Now, where we kind of start to draw the line of it is there's a lot of different styles of turkey hunting. I feel like blind hunting is one particular style. Running gunning is another style, of where you're in 2 different worlds. Obviously, if you're in a blind, you can kind of get away with murder. Turkeys will still pick you up. I still am a huge component of believing that you got to brush in a blind, blend in a blind. Can't just stick it out in the middle of the field. I've had it work sticking out in the middle of the field, but I do feel like you gotta just try your best to get that to be part of that natural environment, to have your best success. And with that, making sure that you have a blackout blind. That is a huge advantage. And I don't think people understand that, to where how blinds work, where, you know, it just makes things so much easier, because if you're wearing black, you're in a blackout blind. you position your blind the right way to where you're not having sunlight seeping through your blind, of where it's just black. That's all they can see. They can't see you. The only thing they might pick you up on is if you have a phone or a big monitor or something like that where it's kicking off light, and you can literally get away with anything. I've had 4 or 5 people in a blind before filming hunts and been successful. As long as everybody stays quiet, doesn't move a whole lot, you could do a lot of different things. And like, I have some Barnett blinds that if it's just me or another person, I'll run 2 cameras. I'll run 3 cameras. I'll have my phone set up as a wide angle inside the blind. I'll have a tight camera and I'll have a wide camera. And then I can capture that hunt in the highest quality that I possibly can. Now that is excessive, yes. But like I said, starting from it where there's 2 different styles, sitting in a blind, obviously, yes, you could bring a tripod, you could bring just your phone, you could bring a DSLR, you could bring a mirrorless in there, you could bring a camcorder in there, you could really do anything. It's just more of that experience that you want to have. And personally for me, I thoroughly enjoy the running gunning lifestyle, being pitched up against a tree, being in the elements, having that, what's the word for it? Having that excitement of like trying to be stealthy and not get picked off. But the blind does have its time and its place. I love taking my daughter out. She's finally getting to an age now where we don't have to be in the blind as much. But it does make it a lot easier for a lot of first timers that haven't been in the turkey woods, that don't know the mechanics of being still, looking with your eyes, not moving. There's a lot of different things that go into it, especially when you're hunting with multiple different people. It makes it a heck of a lot easier. But kind of transitioning into running and gunning now, of where I like to think if you have the ability, saying that you aren't just filming with your phone anymore, say you get a good light tripod. Like I have a really nice small rig tripod that I run right now that I've ran for probably the last 3 years now. It's got a really nice fluid head on it. It's light, compact. I think it breaks down to like 1.5 feet maybe. And I could set that up thing at any angle. I can get a level anywhere I want. I can run either my DLS or my mirrorless cameras on there. And then off that, I have my phone attached on a Magic Arm mount that allows me to basically use my phone as my wide angle. And then my main camera is my wide. And depending on if I'm filming with my bow or my gun is how I'll position that tripod, assuming that I'm hunting solo by myself. If I'm shooting with my shotgun, I'll actually take one leg and put it either in between my legs, because I like to sit with my right leg up if I'm holding my shotgun, and I'll have it on my left side, or vice versa. I'll have it on my right side. I'll have the 2 legs tight to my legs, and then I can work it that way. But I'm right-handed, and I can operate my camera left or right-handed, but I like to have it just so it's ease of access, one-hand operation. I'll pick a focal length that I like. So I'll set my phone to my wide shot. I'll pick a focal length that I like. If I have the ability, yes, I will go through and zoom and do all the good stuff. But, all the mirrorless cameras today have incredible autofocus, which we're very lucky to have nowadays. And I can just trust my camera to do its job, to keep everything in focus. And this is another thing you think about too. Like, I like to sit back 3-4 yards in the cover. Before I'll get pitched up, I always have snippers with me. I always have a little saw with me. I will snip my branches down, because there's nothing more infuriating of sitting down. You got a bird that's fired up that's coming in, and you can't see. Maybe I can see, but my camera can't see. So always having that with me too, so I can snip stuff down, just so I can have that little window of where either my decoys are or where I think that bird's going to be to position my camera. And that seems to be a really good run and gun setup for me now. And, talking a little bit about audio, I've got these right here. I've got these Hollyland M2Ss, which I really like. Tiny little receiver on them. I could plug it into my phone. I could plug it into my camera. But I'm always running at least a wireless setup. And then I'm running a shotgun mic on top of my DSLR or my mirrorless camera. And that way I can just assure that I have really good audio from perspective of me talking, whatever that might be, and then also just that environmental sound from, turkeys in the distance, shotgun going off, whatever that might be. And I would say that's a pretty high-end setup for what I'm running with that. And it's not too overcomplicated. And that's where you can kind of make it whatever you want to be for your hunt. Like I said, you could take your phone out, you could bring out a Tacticam, attach it to your gun. You can bring out a GoPro. I've done the GoPro, putting it out by your decoys, putting a GoPro behind you. The cool thing, you can operate them on your phone, click start record, good to go for 2 different angles right there, which is that's a simple way to film your turkey hunts. But some of the easiest filming I've ever done is filming with a camcorder. It's ease of use. I look at where you can get a good tripod, like I was saying, like with my small rig that I have, you can get your dolly zoom, your dolly slider button that attaches to your camera. You can put that right on your handle, so you could have one stick operation from zooming, recording, doing the whole works off of that. And that seems to be like a pretty bulletproof system. You're not going to get the depth of field you're going to get with like a regular mirrorless camera running, physical lenses. But you're going to get to film an incredible hunt. And it's more of a run and gun style of filming. Like you watch the Hunting Public guys, you watch really a lot of hunts on YouTube probably are filmed on a camcorder. A lot of stuff you see in a tree stands filmed on a camcorder. But a lot of people have too transitioned into hunting with mirrorless cameras now, just because the quality has gotten so good. The autofocus has gotten so good. The biggest thing, the low light capabilities have gotten so good. Like I film on a GH6. I have a GH5S, which is a low light monster beast, even though it's a 8-year-old camera now at this point in time. And between my phone, those 3 cameras, I could do just literally about anything. And, there's A7S3, you got the FX3s of the world, the FX30s. Sony cameras are great for low light stuff. But that's talking more high end stuff. And like getting back to the camcorder stuff, it's just a bulletproof system to where that you're going to click the start button, record, your autofocus is going to be there. The image is going to look good. It might vary depending on the time of day, if it's morning or evening, but it's a super easy system that you can get set up. You can go buy a really good camcorder nowadays. Used market's a really good place to look. eBay is awesome. You can go get like a Canon XF70, or I can drop them in the page here so you guys can take a look at them too. But there's just a lot of different versions of camcorders that exist today from Sony, Panasonic, Canon that you can go pick up for relatively cheap, under $1,000, that you're going to be able to get incredible images, something completely different you're not going to be able to get with your phone. And that's fun to me, to be able to tell those stories of the hunt and filming. And that's where start small. Start with your phone, start with the GoPro, start with a Tacticam, start capturing hunts. And if you like doing it, bite the bullet. Don't be afraid to take that next step. Go get a camcorder. If you're ready to dive in, you want to get more into photography, go get a mirrorless camera. You can go pick up just about any camera brand for probably under $600 nowadays and have a really solid setup. Now you can go crazy. You can go spend $10,000 if you wanted to. An FX3 and a lens might run you $7,000 right there, which is crazy to think, but you're also getting professional grade video image from all that different type of stuff. It's what you want to make it. And I just think filming hunts is such a fun and rewarding thing, and memories that you get to live with for a lifetime, as long as you can keep those files alive. But it's been fun capturing, the journeys or the adventures I've had with my daughter and with my friends, with my family. And it's something that I wouldn't change. It's a lot of fun. And one of the best people I think that had a pretty awesome turkey hunting setup was probably Shane Simpson. And he talked about it one of our episodes, where he's got an Instago 360 on a boom pole that's stabbed into a ground. I think he had the 4th arrow tripod mount. It's got like a stake in it, and you stake it in the ground. He'll run that with a GoPro and then a camcorder. And so he's got 360 look around with that Instago 360. He's got a GoPro on himself, and then he's got a camcorder that he's running that's filming the main action of the hunt. And that's a pretty incredible system right there. It's expensive, but you're able to tell a pretty cool story because you can literally see everything. I've always wanted an Instago 360. I just have not pulled the trigger on one yet. I've always kind of been a hands-on camera in my hand type of person, have not really done a whole lot of point of view stuff outside of my phone. So, like I said, filming your hunts is something easy that anybody can get into. You could literally get a little Joby tripod. You could get a clamp mount for your shotgun or for your bow or for your blind or whatever it is and film it with your phone, GoPro, any of that type of stuff, just to get you introduced to it. But if you enjoy doing it, there's a lot of great stuff online. You can go get a cheap camcorder. You can get a $200 camcorder and start capturing great hunts. But it's all what you want to spend. It's all what you want to get out of the experience. Start in a blind if you're too intimidated by it. If you're not intimidated by it, run and gun. Go have fun with it. One of the biggest things that I've found success with that has helped me to blend in a lot better, and it's a lot of stuff to pack in when you start to think about a blind, decoys, camera gear. It's a lot. And you soon realize like this is too much and you want to keep downsizing to where like what I run with on a daily when I'm out filming hunts, or if I'm out hunting by myself, filming hunts, I'm going to have my gun, my turkey blind, or not my turkey blind, excuse me, my turkey vest, which is kind of my Swiss Army knife. Like I said, I've got my clippers in there. I've got a saw in there. Obviously I have my calls, shells. In the back, I'll usually carry a couple lenses with me, more batteries, etc., stuff like that. And then I'm going to have my little small rig tripod that I've got, I can't think of it, stealth strips. I've got it stealth stripped out. I've got it spray painted too, so it blends in a little bit better. And then I have an Arca Swiss quick attachment, so I can just swap on whatever camera I want. Most times I'm probably just bringing my GH6 out with me. Every once in a while I'll bring my GH5S if I know I'm trying to get some really low light BTS stuff, like getting in the blind or getting in this, getting out there, getting in the truck or whatever that might be, where I'm filming super low light stuff. And then I'm going to have a ghillie blanket, which is probably one of the biggest things that I've purchased in the last 3-4 years now. We're just having a lay down blanket that I can cover my camera with, cover my legs with. And it's just another piece of concealment where I know that it just looks natural compared to, I don't know how this is described. It's helped a lot. It's just basically put me in a better position where I know if I'm kind of scrolling around moving, like usually like underneath my tripod base, that little open area that I have that's obviously enclosed by the ghillie blanket, I'll have calls down there. I'll have extra batteries down there, just stuff that I could kind of do behind the scenes that they can't see because my fingers, it's almost like having a miniature blind kind of. And that has been a really big win for me. And it's kind of a pain in the ass to pack just because it doesn't really fold up nice, but I just strap it to the back of my turkey vest and it seems to work out pretty well that way. So that's been a big one. And obviously, like I said, bringing out my GH6. I usually like to bring 2 lenses, talking in that framework of stuff. I have a 12 to 35, which is basically like my main run and gun lens. Like if it happens quick and fast, like I can get a wide shot, I can get a tight shot. Yeah, I'm shooting in, 5.3K. I could punch in as much as I want and get what I could get out of a field of view of a regular full frame camera if I wanted to. But I'm also bringing a 100 to 300 with me. And that lens, I can reach out forever. And that's the cool thing about micro four thirds systems of where, it's double your focal length. So I'm looking at this where that 100 to 300 really is a 200 to 600 in full frame equivalency. And for wildlife stuff, that's awesome because a Sony lens might be that big for that type of lens. And on a micro four thirds system, it's actually fairly small, which is pretty sweet. And I can punch out a long ways and capture a lot of cool stuff. So this is kind of just a brief walk into filming your turkey hunts. And it's, like I said, it's such a fun, rewarding thing. And the more you can kind of get into it, the more maybe you'll either like it or you're going to hate it. You want to get back to hunting. I know I've experienced that to where it is frustrating. It is something that is challenging. It's not easy. But at the end of the day, when it does come together, man, it's fun to see. It's fun to rewatch it. Fun to rewatch like mistakes that you made. There's a lot of stuff I've picked on to where, especially my calling for me, it's made me a better caller because I can hear myself, hear hens that I'm calling back to, hear how birds are responding, kind of analyzing what I did and, maybe didn't do wrong or why it worked. But yeah, filming hunts is fun. Like I said, you can get into it with your phone, a GoPro. You could use a cheap $200 handy cam, or you could go crazy. You could go get a $1,000 camcorder. You can go spend $5,000 and get a mirrorless. It's whatever you want to spend, whatever your heart's content on spending. But it's well worth it because it's such a fun and rewarding experience, and I highly recommend it. If you've never done it, go out and film your hunts, record them for a lifetime, save some memories with friends and family or your kids, and enjoy it. So, guys, thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions, I'm more than willing always to talk camera talk. I'm a camera geek. I love geeking out about this stuff. So if you have questions, reach out to me, DM me, whatever it is. I'd love to chat about it. Thanks again, guys, for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for joining us on this journey through faith in the great outdoors. We hope today's episode has inspired you to seek God's presence in the wilderness and deepen your connection with nature. If you enjoyed today's discussion, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to the Wild Faith Podcast on your favorite platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode, and you'll continue to be a part of the Wild Faith Podcast community. We'd also love to hear from our listeners, so please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions, comments, or topic suggestions. You can connect with us on social media or through our website. Your feedback is important to us and helps us improve and tailor our content to better serve you. And always remember, the great outdoors isn't just a playground for hunting and fishing. It's a sanctuary for finding solace and spiritual renewal. As you gear up for that next adventure, I pray you find God's presence in the crackling of a campfire, the thrill of reeling in your catch, or the quiet solitude found in nature. Until next time, thank you for listening to the Wild Faith Podcast. Take care, and God bless.
I need a Holy Ghost.